In this video, I will teach you the basics of ocean fishing in Final Fantasy XIV, so you can level your fisher, or get the mount and the title Master of the Sea for scoring 10,000 or 20,000 points respectively. Using the right method, both of these are very easy to achieve. In general, ocean fishing is pretty easy to get into, even for players who don't fish regularly. Together we'll go over everything you need, from baits, over abilities, to outside resources. This is explicitly not a guide to every little detail about ocean fishing, but simply a guide to get started and get the rewards. There are plenty of better fishers out there than me, one of which is the member of RFC, Claire Voltin, who taught me most of what I know about ocean fishing. But many more expert fishers can be found on the Discord server Fisherman's Horizon in case you want to go beyond the basics or have any questions. A link to the Discord will be in the video description. Ocean fishing is similar to regular fishing in many ways, but there are some key differences that make it more appealing to casual fishers. First of all we need for now is 3 baits: krill, ragworm and plumpworm. All 3 can be bought by the ferry docks in Lim-Solominsa from this NPC, or alternatively on the ship itself. No other baits are needed for now, but there is a special type of fish called intuition fish that may require additional bait. This is however not required for getting the mount or the title. Second of all, ocean fishing is more fast-paced than regular fishing, and you're competing for score. This makes it a fun side activity to participate in with friends, to hunt high scores and go for achievements. Thirdly, it's available from level 1. All you need to do is complete the first fisher job quest and you can embark on your first voyage. To enter an ocean fishing voyage, speak to this NPC by the ferry docks in Lim-Solominsa when a ship is supposed to sail. You can talk to her to see when the next one will start. Inside the schedule, you'll notice that the ship stops 3 times until its final destination. You can also see the time of day for the different stops. This is important because not all fish can be caught at all times. When you sign up, you'll stay in queue until either 24 players have been found, or it's 15 minutes past the hour, at which point you will set sail in an undersized ship. The ship will stop at 3 locations, each one allowing you a few minutes of fishing. At each stop, different kind of fish are available, each preferring one of the 3 baits. There's also one so-called spectral fish. Catching the spectral fish has a chance to spawn a so-called spectral current, which is a limited time frame for catching higher value fish that can occur only once per stop. The spectral current is important for getting high scores during ocean fishing, and as such, our primary goal is always to trigger it. This is why ideally everyone on the ship should use the spectral fish preferred bait until the current spawns. The chance to trigger a spectral current doesn't change dramatically depending on how many fishers are on the ship with you, making both solo voyages and full ships viable. Once the spectral current is triggered, we select the bait that allows us to make the most points off the current. Which one that is depends on multiple factors. To help us figure all of this out, we're going to use a website called Lulu Tools, which features a page specifically for ocean fishing. Scrolling down, the first thing we can see is the upcoming voyages, telling us the route and any bonus objectives. Below this we can find the details for the next voyage. Here I recommend sorting by all fish. This might seem confusing at first, but I will explain it. At the top you can switch between the different stops to see the fish available at each one of them. Below that, you can see the fish available outside the spectral current above the line, and all fish available inside the spectral current below the line. You can see each fish's preferred bait. A star on the bait means that the fish can only be caught when you're using the specified bait. You might also notice this symbol right here. This is the intuition buff. Fish marked with this are so-called intuition fish I mentioned earlier. We're just going to ignore these for now. Next to this, you can see the fish tug. This corresponds to the exclamation marks you see above your character whenever a fish bite. 1 exclamation mark is a weak tug, 2 is a strong, and 3 is a ferocious tug. Knowing the tug strength of a fish is useful for figuring out what kind of fish we're dealing with. Each fish has a specific type of tug, and it doesn't change whether the fish is average sized or large. Next to this, you can see the bite time. This tells you during what time frame in seconds after using the ability cast this fish bites. By looking at the tug strength and the bite time, we can almost always tell what kind of fish we caught before we reel it in, allowing us to use our abilities to maximize the point gain. This is at its core what getting high scores in ocean fishing is about. Knowing the fish that you have on the hook and using the right abilities to maximize the points you get from that fish. To know the current bite time, we're going to use a cast macro. This is what it looks like. You just drag this button and replace the cast on your hotbar. And from now on, whenever you use cast, a timer will start in your chat that's only visible to you, which will tell you how much time has passed since you used cast. Now, when we're trying to catch a specific fish, all we have to do is look at the tug, the bait time, and in some specific cases, the bait as well. In the example on screen right now, you can see that the Lanosian jelly has a weak tug and a bite time of 2 to 4 seconds. No other fish on this stop share these, so we can guarantee that every weak tug from 2 to 4 seconds bite time is a Lanosian jelly. To decide which fish to go for during the spectral current, we need to understand the double hook bracket on the ocean fishing website. This number indicates how many fish you can get casting double hook or triple hook on that fish. That's because some fish will yield different amounts whenever you use double or triple hook on them. To get started, simply using double hook on the right fish is a good start, but you can go a step further. The holy grail combo of ocean fishing at the moment is this: blind double hook, identical cast, price catch, triple hook. Let me explain. First of all, using the method of timers and tug strength to figure out what fish we have on the hook, we do a so-called blind double hook. That just means we're using double hook without using identical cast beforehand. However, we're pretty sure that this is the fish we're looking for. We follow this up with identical cast, which will guarantee that we land the same fish again. We pair this with price catch, which will guarantee that the fish we catch are large, which not only doubles the points, but also gives us angler's art stacks, which, whenever you catch 7 large fish, is as much as 350 GP. The whole combo takes a total of 1600 GP to execute, which means that at the start of the combo, you need to have 900 GP, a high cordial, as well as 6 angler's art stacks. 3 angler's art stacks can be transferred into 150 GP using the ability Thaliak's Favor. And high cordials are available at the script exchange in exchange for white scripts. If you don't have the GP, you can use a different combo: blind double hook, identical cast, double hook. So in this case, we're swapping out the triple hook at the end for a double hook, and we're also not using price catch and instead just hoping that we're gonna get large fish for our second double hook. This only costs 1000 GP and can almost always be achieved with a high cordial and a few angler's art stacks. Angler's art stacks are, as I mentioned, acquired by catching large fish, and we need them to make our big combo happen. So what I like to do at the start of a trip is using Patience or Patience 2 together with the abilities Precision and Strong Hook set to get a few large fish and at least a total of 6 stacks. Using either Patience or Patience 2 will apply a debuff called Inefficient Hooking. To get rid of this debuff, we have to use Precision Hook set or Strong Hook set instead of the normal hook. Simply use Precision Hook set on weak tugs and Strong Hook set on strong and ferocious tugs. Doing this will give you a lot of large fish and in return angler's art stacks. And when you're just starting out in the zone, you can simply use a high cordial immediately. Now that we have all of this out of the way, let's put it into practice. In this case, we are in Rotano Sea by day. Take a look at the available fish and decide for a strategy to use. The fish that are interesting to us are Silencer, Floating Saucer, and Executioner. Floating Saucer is unavailable due to the weather, leaving us with Silencer and Executioner. Silencer can be targeted quite well because it's the only fish that prefers ragworm in this example. Also, any weak tug after 2.5 seconds can be guaranteed to be a Silencer because there are no other weak tugs sharing that bait time. However, the Executioner will yield, while it's harder to catch, definitely higher scores. It's the only ferocious tug during the spectral current, which makes targeting it exceedingly easy. All we need is sufficient GP and for the fish to actually bite. After a short while, we get lucky and get a blind double hook on the Executioner. This is already 4 fish. We follow it up with our full identical cast, price catch, triple cast combo, and manage to get 3000 points just before the current runs out. Using this method is all you need in order to get the Master of the Sea title. If you aren't getting high scores but are following these guidelines, you're likely simply getting unlucky ships or bites. At its core, ocean fishing is gambling. Let me demonstrate by giving you a second example. In this video on screen right now, we are in Galadion Bay during sunset, during a spectral current that we triggered. Looking at Lulu's Tools, we can see the following. If you want, pause the video and take a moment to try and figure out your strategy. We can see that Merman's Mane, Ghost Shark and Funnel Shark all have high rewards for double hooks, so these are the fish that we want to target. In this case, I will go with Funnel Shark. Let me explain why that is. First, let's look at Merman's Mane. We can see that the other fish share the strong tug with multiple other fish. Not only that, but those fish also have similar bait time. That means we can't reliably distinguish each strong tug, and we never know whether it's actually a Merman's Mane that's biting, making this a very risky fish to go for. Ghost Shark has a similar problem, also having a strong tug and almost the same bite time. One way of dealing with this could be to never use a blind double hook, but instead using this combo. Normal hook, identical cast, double hook. This allows us to verify the fish and then use identical cast to get a safe double or triple hook. However, this is less point efficient than the alternative. Funnel Shark is the only fish available with a ferocious tug outside of the intuition fish. This means that every ferocious tug is a guaranteed Funnel Shark, making it very easy to start our combo. You can see that I'm capped on stacks and I'm keeping my GP high. And I start my combo and oops, the spectral current just ran out as I was pressing triple hook. This could have been thousands of points, but it's just the kind of bad luck you can have during ocean fishing. Oftentimes you'll just sit there and the right fish just isn't biting a single time. You can have the right bait, the perfect strategy, but if the fish doesn't bite, it bites at the wrong time, or stuff like this happens, there's really nothing you can do. In those cases, you just need to keep trying. It's worth noting that some of the trips are definitely more suited to getting high scores than others, but when you're just learning fishing, it's a good idea to simply take any trip you can get, instead of just waiting for the right one and never getting any practice in. It's possible to get 20,000 points on all of the trips. Those were all the ocean fishing tips for now. If you enjoyed this video, you should check out this one, where I'll go over some of the rarest titles in the game, including one obtained from ocean fishing. Maybe that's a goal you can go for. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.